I'm so glad to see you. I'm glad you're here. So, today, if you don't mind, I want to just touch base on content repurposing and what the heck that is. We all have heard about it, I think. And the question is, well, what can I do with it? And how can it help my business? And is it hard? So, I was talking with someone just yesterday about this and ended up putting a plan together this morning for someone else that we're working with. And so I want to just step through that with you because you'll be able to take this and use it in your business to reach your customers, your clients, and your prospects. And it's a really good thing. So that's what we were getting into. And I've got my phone right here. So if you are on Facebook with us, just throw your comments right in there and I will see them if you have any questions. And if you're watching the replay, that's all good too, because we will circle back to you. Okay, so first, before you think about content repurposing, we're going to talk about why for just a moment, and then a couple things to define, and then the actual plays, the actual tactics, the things to really do. Sound good? Okay with you? All right. So why is we get this pinnacle piece of content together, or if you look at someone like Gary Vee, he talks about as the I think he calls it the pillar. But you get your main thing together, and at that point, we feel like, okay, I've done this video or I've written this paper, I've said it, I've said my thing once, I'm good, I've said it, I've put it out there. But the fact is, that can turn into, hey, Mango's here to help, that can turn into so many touches and beautiful things that help you stay in touch with your people, which is such a good thing. And we feel like, as marketers, we feel like, oh, I already said that, I already put it out there, everybody already knows, but they don't. They forget, they're thinking about their own things. And so, what can be really great is to take that video or blog post, or maybe you gave a presentation, maybe you spoke in an event, that kind of thing, and turn that into several things that can help promote you and your business and help the people you're working with, because we always want to help people and benefit them, right? So that's the first piece of it. All right. So once you have that, and if you don't know how to do that, hit me up later. We can talk about that. But I'm going to assume you've got a video or blog post or just something, even if it's 2 minutes long, of you talking about something awesome. That's your thing right there. All right. So then the three things to really define are what keywords you're going to want to be sure are included. And that's just so, for example, if you're going to put it on YouTube, you've got those keywords in there on your channel and on that video. And you can use those same keywords potentially for hashtags, depending on your social media. So it's good to know what those are, bake those words into the content and stuff like that. Okay, so that's one of the things to define. The second one is to decide on what you hope your customer, prospect, client will do next after they watch part or all of your video or read part or all of your blog. What are you hoping they do next? Are you hoping they download a trial, jump on a Zoom call with you, get together for virtual coffee? What is it you're hoping that they do next? And so whatever that is, just have that defined. So first you're going to define a few keywords. It doesn't have to be hard, just a few keywords. And secondly, what are you hoping the person does next after they watch your content, and what do you want them to do? All right. And then the third thing to do is take a look at your video or blog post or whatever and see if maybe there are 2 or 3 or 5 or maybe even as many as 10 key takeaways from that content. So the one I worked on today for somebody, I looked through the video and I saw 10 different key points in this video. So no, seven different key points in this video, but I've seen as many as 10. So there's somebody else we worked with on a guide, and there were easily 10 points in there, and we went with 10. But for the one I did this morning, there were 7, but maybe you just have 2 or 3, and that is all good. So pick your top few key points out of there. And so once you have those 3 things defined, your keywords, your call to action, like what are you hoping they do next, whether it's just download something, meet with you, whatever, and defining the kind of key points that are in that content, now we can jump in and make a plan with your content, okay? And so here are some things you can do, and let me know what you think about this. Hey, Fallon, how are you? Good to see you. All right, one of them is you can put your full, I'm gonna go with video for this one, but it could be something else. So you can put your full video on YouTube. So upload it on YouTube, put your keywords in there, description, the link to the call to action, put all that stuff in there. You can also put the full video on Facebook. It can be on your Facebook page, your Facebook group, your personal Facebook. So that could actually expand out into several items right there. Next, put a blog up on your website, and in that blog, you're going to embed the video. So whether you embed the YouTube video, which is great, or if you also are hosting it on video, we work with some people who just like to have more control of that video. And so they go ahead and host on Vimeo and embed that. And that's a great way to do it. So you're going to put your blog post there, make sure the keywords are baked in, make sure the keywords are in the H1 tags, all that good stuff, and the URL of the blog, all the nifty things. And then next, go on to, if you're a LinkedIn user, go ahead and make a LinkedIn article for yourself, which is different from a post, as you know. So make a LinkedIn article and embed the video in there. So now you can embed that video, be it on YouTube or wherever you're hosting it, inside the LinkedIn article. Okay, so now the next thing you can do is put together an email campaign. So for example, if you've got 7 key points that you covered in your video, you could potentially have 7 follow-up emails that go with that. And if you want to send that out to your list with those key points in those emails, always offering that really nice next step, helpful info in those emails, but encouraging people to take the next step down the yellow brick road to working with you further. So 1 point per 7 email. Cool, right? All right. So now you can take stills out of that video, and maybe those stills have a little snippet with the main point on it. So you can have the video still of you, or maybe some other graphic, or the other person. So in the case that we're working on today, it's a testimonial video. So you can take the person who's giving the testimonial and put a little quote next to them and a graphic. You can do that in Canva. You can do it in Adobe Spark. You can do it in Photoshop, whatever you want to do. One of those tools all work so very well. And once you have those put together, you can use them on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all of those. And of course, you might need to resize them a little bit for each platform, but depending on what tool you are using, it's super easy to use. I sometimes use Easel, which is great. So in Easel, you can just go in there and click, okay, resizing for Instagram, click resizing for LinkedIn. And same thing with Canva, of course. Ooh, if you need the link to Sprouts, always up to date social media sizes, we'll throw that in the comments afterward as well, because that is just such a useful thing. All right, so coming back to what we're doing with it, we've put our video on YouTube, we put it onto Facebook, into 1 or more pages or groups. You put a blog on your website with the video embedded in it. You put a LinkedIn article up if you're a LinkedIn user with the video embedded in the article. Now you've created 7 emails. Now we've put together 7 graphics that you can use on all your social. So that's going to be Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever else you're doing, maybe Snapchat if you're doing that, depending on what you are doing. And the next thing to do, I'm just looking through my notes because there's a ton of stuff you can do, and just pick the ones you want. You don't have to stress and do all 60 of these. You can also now take clips out of the video. So if you're doing an Instagram story, for example, you would take a 15-second video clip and use that for your Instagram story. If you're doing a post, you can make it 60 seconds on Instagram, or and then you can also use that same 60-second video on Facebook and LinkedIn. So you can do now some video posts as well. So maybe just, if you don't want to do all 7 points in video, you could do like 2 or 3 of them with video like that. Another thing you can do, so kind of shifting directions a little bit here, is you can take that video, in this case, it's a customer talking, but it could be some other topic, and turn that into a case study PDF or a guide or a checklist, a one sheet, something like that, where it's written. So we know that people learn in all different ways. So there's visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, and we want to give them the information in all these different ways in all these different places as well. And so this gives you another chance to put something into PDF form that was in video form. You could also do Google Slides, for example, with the key points on it, or a slide share. on LinkedIn. Google Slides works everywhere, so that's really good. And you could do something like post on Quora if you've checked that out before. Quora just brings different eyeballs to your topics. And then, of course, all those articles are going to have the video embedded and a link back to your call to action and or your blog post, something like that, so you can get people engaged in your community. And then finally, it can be more, but I'm going to stop here. Finally, use that video content, take the audio off of it, and make a podcast with it. And we just started doing a bit more with podcasting this month, and it's super fun. And so we're taking all the videos we have with clients and for ourselves, in fact, and then making a podcast channel. It just gives another place for your content to be out there. So, what do you think? Does it sound fun? Do you maybe see 2 or 3 or 4 things off of that list that you could do today with your content? I think the main message here is don't be stuck on like, well, I said it one time, I don't need to say it again. Or I did this video one time, I don't need to do anything more with it. Go ahead and take it and spin it out there into all sorts of helpful and useful information for everybody. And it's going to help promote your business and help your people that you're working with as well. All right. Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Talk soon.